feel like I was running out to get the gay Olympic torch as I got this. Okay, right, what am I doing? Okay, here we go. Roehampton University. For those of you that don't know it, although I think I spotted someone from the Gendered Intelligence Group, a Roehampton graduate, which is nice to see. Roehampton University is based in southwest London, which is in between kind of Putney and Barnes. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Roehampton, just a kind of little bit of background information, because it's really detrimental. As Sue said, it prides itself on being the centre for teacher education excellence throughout the country. It prides itself on teacher trainers. And it's based off of four colleges, Digby, Whitelands, Southlands, and Frobel. And teaching is the ethos of all of those colleges that made the university up when it gained university status in 1975. And despite all this pride for teaching excellence, there's nothing in the modules on combating homophobia, which is that's a lovely little picture of where all the teacher training takes place and goes to. It's a nice little bit of product placement for Roehampton there as well. So. But I came to Roehampton in 2004 as a student. I came from the lovely shores of the northeast of England, Darlington, and I thought I'd be coming to Roehampton. I thought I'd be coming to London thinking, oh wow, you know, I'm going to be coming to London and everything's going to be fine. It's like on the merry old trip to Oz. Only when I got here, I was really, really shocked at how much work there was still to do. And from my 3 years as a student, that's what kind of drove me to run for a position which I did in the Students' Union. I ran for a position to become the Vice President of Welfare and Campaigns, and I won by a huge majority, I'd like to say. I smashed the heteronormative competition into the ground, and I became the first out gay man to be elected into Roehampton Students' Union, which I didn't realise until earlier in this year. But because of that, I felt this huge responsibility as an out gay man to get LGBT issues onto the agenda, because if I didn't do it, when was the next person going to do it? And that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to celebrate LGBT History Week. I mean, I didn't do it across the month. I did it all across 1 week because I thought it would be better to do a really intense week and have different themes on every single day as opposed to the month, because there's all sorts of stuff you've got to do in a union. And these are the reasons why I wanted to do it. I wanted to seek to educate individuals on a culture they may not be familiar with. I wanted to encourage understanding of the diverse community that exists on student campuses up and down the country, and I wanted to engage minds in a positive context, because even at university level, even from my peers, I kept on hearing the word, oh, that is so gay, and it's just the little bugbear that is done. So you think it exists in secondary schools and primary schools, but it doesn't. It's still existing in our universities and halls, and it's just a word that's thrown around everywhere. And I thought, well, I've got to do something. I feel a responsibility to do something. So what could I do? As I said, I wanted to plan a week of varied events that represent a positive impact of LGBT people within society. And as Ellie pointed out earlier, I wanted to celebrate, but I didn't just want to celebrate, I wanted to challenge. I feel a huge, huge responsibility as well as a student that, you know, you have so much empowerment. A university is, in essence, students are your employers. You're accountable to the students. And I really wanted to wake students up to a bit of student activism to say, know your power, know your role. So I wanted to create an event that was going to celebrate our history, yet challenge current issues. And I also wanted to try and set an exemplary attitude for others to follow. And that sounds really arrogant, does it? But I wanted to embed something into the union so that when I left, LGBT issues are on the map and that it wouldn't be forgotten. So to get ideas of what to do for LGBT History Week, I did quite a few things. I went straight to our LGBT society. I asked them what they like to do, what would they like to see represented during a week of LGBT History Month, bar a piss up. I liaised with other universities in the department. I sent a massive chain of emails out to every single department in the university saying, I'm doing LGBT History Week, what can you do? We must have some experts in this university to do with queer theory and drama, something to do with queer cinema and film. Let's just all bring it together. And the turnout was surprisingly low, to be honest, and I was a little bit downhearted. I think even saying the word LGBT at university level sometimes is a bit fearful and people kind of back away from you, but I wasn't willing to take a step down. So I did have one person that came forward called Julie Hall, who was the head of the Learning and Teaching Enhancement Union, which is probably the best contact I could have had, to be honest. But I'll come on to Julie in a sec. But then I attended the Wandsworth LGBT Forum, of which I'm now acting chair, another plug. And it was there that I first met Sue Sanders, who petrified me. I was absolutely petrified by the woman. I thought, who is this woman? And then she's coming over to me, she's coming over. But Sue was doing her talk on how to tackle homophobic bullying in schools, and she was delivering it to the local authority. And I watched it and I was like, I need that. I need that presentation on a university stage with academics from the university to be accountable. And I went along, who came along with me? From the picture that you saw earlier, the LGBT officer, John Taylor, came along with me. And it was really John's story of what he told me that made me want to do it even more. He highlighted to me the level of homophobic language used in his training school in Croydon was alarmingly high. I'll just focus on the story that he told me. There was some children fighting in the playground, as they do sometimes. And when his personal tutor went to split it up, she said, why are you fighting? Why are you two fighting? Because her mum's a lesbian. Oh, don't be stupid. Lesbians can't be mums. And this woman was trained at Roehampton. So, as I say there, the main culprits aren't just the children, it's the teachers. So I seriously thought we need to have an event at Roehampton that gets LGBT issues onto the training map. So that's a lovely picture of Julie Hall, who split the costs of the event with me, which was very lovely. The setup for the event that I wanted Sue to come in, kick ass with her presentation, have an accountable panel that consisted of the local MP, the Dean of Education from Roehampton, Maura Nolan, a representative from the National Union of Teachers, and then I wanted to open out to the floor for a bit of Q&A, which was full of students, academics from the university, staff members, but I thought that would be my point to try and get the message across. That's just some of the other events that went on during the week. That was our little logo that we created from the union, just some other kind of promotional materials. But yeah, this event was what I thought was going to be the one that was going to empower students and make them reclaim their student activism, and it was a very good turnout. But as I said, the ends and objectives was to highlight the experience of student-teacher trainers in the community, such as John's, ask for specific LGBT training in the courses delivered at Roehampton, not tokenistic gestures under diversity and equality, say the name, LGBT specifically. And I wanted a public and accountable commitment from everybody on that panel in eradicating homophobic bullying from schools, and in fact all bullying. And these were the panel members. It was Justine Greening, who is the MP for Putney and Roehampton, and Tory. I tried to reserve all judgment, but you know. But I will say this for Justine, she has been fantastic at supporting LGBT. I remember my first meeting with her as a union guy, and I was ready to get in there. I was like, yeah, come on, Tory. And she was like, oh no, I completely support you. I was like, you're very sneaky, very sneaky. I know what you're up to. I don't buy this David Cameron malarkey. Okay, then Jean Kay, the Dean of Education from Hampton University, and Maura Nolan, and then Sue herself. I wanted to open up so that what Sue presented, that these guys, sorry ladies, would debate the issues. And there they are all at it there. And there was a very lively issues raised from the floor as well, but I'm conscious I'm running out of time, so I'm going to quickly say what the outcome of the event was. Basically, Roehampton has agreed in principle to implement specific LGBT-based issues in its teacher education modules. The LGBT needs have been implemented into the learning and teaching strategy by Julie Hall, so that's very important. It's on the agenda. It's something that she wants to do. It's on there. We know it's on there. To educate personal tutors on the isolation that some teachers feel due to homophobia. That was highlighted by John's experience of then not feeling that he couldn't talk to his personal tutor about being a gay man and being a gay teacher, because obviously mums can't be lesbians. And I also wanted a commitment from the local MP to tackle all types of homophobia at every level. And how brilliant is this? I got it into the Roehampton Students' Union Constitution that it's every February we celebrate LGBT History Month. So that's in the Constitution. They can't get away from that now. It's there every single year. But it's not just that. We celebrate Black history, we do disabled, we do everything. But I think it's brilliant that it's kind of in there. So I'm there forever in some ways. So following the event, leaving the union, because I came to an end of my term in office in July, and I feel like I'm still a student to some degree now. So in that time of leaving, it's easy to say, oh yeah, we'll do it. Or Dave's gone now, we don't really need to bother doing this gay stuff. So that's why I'm still going to be working on putting pressure on the commitments made from the university, working with the university to assist and guide on what should be added into the teacher education modules. So I'll be working with them on a consultancy basis to make sure that they follow up and they deliver on what they said they would. But I don't think it's just the responsibility of the universities. I think we need to campaign on a larger scale to local authorities, to local government, and then take it on to the next step of that. We need to light the fire in everybody, and all the students just reclaim that student activism that we once used to have. And I will close in just saying, for me, I feel this was the least I could do. So if anybody in the audience is at university or they're thinking of going to university, join your LGBT society, get involved with the union, make them accountable, stand up, don't be invisible, and say what you want. Thank you very much.